Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most incredible prayers in the entire Bible, Psalm 144. It's a powerful journey from a place of desperation all the way to a declaration of faith, written by King David himself. This explainer is brought to you by our friends at the You Need Faith in Jesus team. Let's get into it. So let me just start by asking a question. Have you ever felt completely and totally overwhelmed? You know that feeling when it seems like you're drowning in chaos, just swamped by life's problems? Like you're being pulled under by great waters? Well, if you have, you're in good company. That's exactly where King David was.
Listen to his cry for help right here. He says, "Send thine hand from above, rid me and deliver me out of great waters." He's not just facing a physical threat. He's surrounded by enemies he calls strange children, people whose mouths speak vanity, whose promises are lies, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. He is literally drowning in a sea of deception and danger.
But here's what's so powerful. David doesn't just sit there and despair. No, his first move, his entire strategy, is to completely shift his focus. He stops looking at the size of his problem and starts declaring the greatness of his God. And notice how he kicks things off. Before he even asks for a single thing, he starts with praise. "Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight." He's basically saying, God, any skill I have, any strength I possess to face these battles, it all comes from you. For us, our battles might look different. Maybe it's a challenge at work or spiritual struggle, but the principle is the same. God is the one who equips us for the fight.
And then David just unleashes this rapid-fire list of who God is to him. First up, my fortress. Just picture that. A place of absolute, total security. A place where the enemy simply cannot get to you.
He goes on, my high tower. What a powerful image, right? It's just like what we read in Proverbs 8:10, that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. It's a place of refuge we can run to, high above all the chaos down below, giving us a whole new perspective.
And then my shield. This just completes the picture. God isn't just one of these things. He is our fortress, and our high tower, and our shield. He is our all-encompassing protector, especially in those moments when we feel completely exposed and vulnerable.
So after declaring God's incredible strength, David is just filled with this sense of awe. He looks at this eternal, all-powerful God, and then he looks at us, at humanity, and he's humbled. He says our lives are like a puff of smoke, just a passing shadow. And it makes you wonder, right? Why would this magnificent, universe-creating God even bother to notice us? Well, our value doesn't come from ourselves. It comes from the mind-blowing fact that he chooses to know us. He cares for us personally.
And it's from this place of humility that David prays with such incredible boldness. Listen to this. "Bow thy heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke." Whoa! He's not asking for a small favor. He's asking for a divine intervention so massive, so visible, that no one could possibly deny it was God. This is a model for us on how to pray about our own impossible situations.
Okay, and this is where the prayer takes a really fascinating turn. It shows us what real faith looks like in action. Right in the middle of this desperate plea for help, David makes a pivot. He shifts from asking to be rescued to thanking God for a rescue he hasn't even seen yet.
He declares, "I will sing a new song unto thee, O God." Now, whenever you see the phrase, a new song in the Bible, it's almost always connected to a fresh, new act of God's salvation. David is so certain that God is going to come through for him that he's already tuning his instruments for the victory party. He's praising God in advance. Now, this isn't just wishful thinking. David's confidence is built on a rock-solid foundation, God's track record. He remembers that God is the one who delivereth David his servant from the hurtful sword. He's looking back at all the times God showed up for him before, and that history of faithfulness is what fuels his faith in the present. And that's such a powerful practice for us too, to stop and remember all the ways God has already been faithful in our lives.
And all of this faith leads him to the final part of his prayer. And you'll notice it doesn't end with him worrying about his enemies. It ends with this beautiful, incredibly detailed vision of the peace and prosperity he knows is coming after God delivers him.
And just look at this picture he paints. Sons that are strong and thriving, like healthy young plants. Daughters that are like polished cornerstones in a palace. Beautiful, strong, and foundational. He sees barns overflowing, flocks multiplying by the thousands, strong oxen, and safe streets with no complaining. It's a vision of complete security and contentment that flows directly from God's hand.
Now David says, yeah, any people living like that will be happy. Of course. But then, in the very last verse, He lets us in on the secret. He reveals the true foundation of it all. See, all those wonderful blessings, they aren't the ultimate prize.
And here it is, the core of the whole psalm. Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord. Did you catch the distinction? He's saying it's great to have all that stuff, sure, but true, deep, lasting happiness, that comes from one thing, knowing that the Lord is your God. The relationship with the giver is always better than the gifts.
So if there's one big idea to take away from all this, it's that true happiness is not based on our circumstances. It has nothing to do with whether our bank account is full or our life is problem-free. It is a deep, profound, unshakable joy that is founded entirely on knowing and having a relationship with the Lord. So, how do we put this into practice? It's pretty straightforward. First, just like David, start by acknowledging that God is your strength for whatever you're facing. Second, pray boldly. Don't be afraid to ask for one of those mountain-smoking interventions. Third, make it a habit to praise Him in faith before you even see the answer. And finally, number 4, make a conscious choice to find your true happiness in Him, not just in the blessings He provides.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. As we close, just take a second to think about your own life. What blessings are you thankful for? And maybe more importantly, how can each and every one of those good things serve as a signpost, pointing you back to the one true source of all happiness, the giver himself?